They just stayed quiet. What was there to say after all? It's one thing when your enemies hurt you. It's another thing when your friends hurt you. That's called betrayal. That's what was going on back in the day. In 1948, the nation of Israel came into being after a little bit longer than 1,800-year absence of the people of God living in that land. It was primarily European Jews called Ashkenazi that were running the country that established the new nation. But anyone of any Jewish ancestry was allowed to emigrate to get citizenship. Middle Eastern Jews called Mizrahim also came to the country, but they noticed that they weren't in the same positions of influence as the Ashkenazi Jews were. After a while, a rift began to develop and some hard feelings between people of the same lineage. What was happening in Nehemiah's time is the economy got a little bit rough. There was a famine in the land. So the poor had to mortgage their fields, had to borrow from the rich in order to have grain to eat. The rich, charging interest, got richer, and even some of the poorer, lower class had to give their sons and daughters as slaves in order to pay off debts. This was the situation that Nehemiah heard about. He confronted the nobility of Judah. He said, "What is this all about? Did we free our brothers and sisters from slavery in foreign lands, in Babylon and Persia, just to bring them here and re-enslave them again? What you're doing is not right." And thus the silence. Eventually they decided that Nehemiah wasn't going to back down and they needed to actually do what was right. And they promised to return everything they'd taken. Nehemiah was glad, but it wasn't enough. He stood up and he grabbed his robe. He shook the folds of his robe, shook out anything that was in his robe. And he said, "If you don't do what you say you're going to do, may God shake you out of the household of the people of God." Let's never let business as usual dictate how we treat our brothers and sisters. God is calling all of the peoples of the world to himself. In that sense, we're all brothers and sisters, and we must treat each other that way. Do you ever feel exploited? Do you ever feel used? Do you ever feel taken advantage of? Do you ever feel like you'll never get out of the hole that you're in? Well, cry out to the deliverer. Our deliverer is coming.